Hello everyone, this is going to be a tips and trick guide for all of you new and returning players to Diablo 4. So one of the first questions you're going to get when you start the game, besides picking your class, is going to be whether you should play on the seasonal realm or the eternal realm. Pretty much the difference is a new seasonal realm comes out every 3 to 4 months, and it allows, like it says, a lot of new content and stuff that takes place after the completion of the campaign. Then there is the Eternal Realm, which is where your seasonal characters will go to after the season ends. So the Eternal Realm will be there forever, not only that 3 to 4 months. So for this example, I'm going to go on to the Seasonal Realm. And then here's our second question. We have World Tier 1 and World Tier 2. The difference is, obviously, World Tier 1 is going to be a little bit easier, but you don't get the bonuses of World Tier 2, which is that the monsters give you more experience and they give you more gold. So we're gonna go to World Tier 2. This is just an example character. Now, once you load into the season, if you completed the campaign, you will end up in Kovashad. If you did not complete the campaign, you'll actually have to complete the campaign before getting into the seasonal stuff. So right here is our map of Diablo 4, and this reddish area here is the Helltide. These lighter pink areas are going to be PvP zones, right here and right here. So this is going to be where most of the seasonal content is going to take place. These change every hour in the locations. So 1 hour it'll be here, another hour it'll be up in Saragar, next area it'll be around Kovashad. So getting into the tips and tricks, I wanted to show you guys is one of the most important things for Diablo 4 and for your class is going to be this right here. This is your renown, and you get progress with renown through each one of the 5 regions in Diablo. The Fractured Peaks, Skogsland, Dry Steppes, Kyrgyzstan, and Howitzer. In order to get renown, you have to do different tasks, and when you do those tasks, you get renown points, and each one has a different type of renown value. So as you can see, if you collect the waypoints in the area, you get 20. If you do the strongholds, you get 100. Normally there's 1 stronghold in each area, and so on. One of the more important things that I'm going to tell you is the altars of Lilith. Each area has its own amount of altars of Lilith. So Fractured Peaks, 28, Skogsland, 34, 33 Dry Steppes, 31 in Kyrgyzstan, 34 in Howitzer. These are very, very important things to get. So pretty much an altar of Lilith, as you can see on my map, is going to be this little statue. Alright, so an altar of Lilith is these statues here. You can see it right here in the corner. And is what you do is you just find them all around the map. You can see there's a whole bunch of them. You click A on it, it'll give you stat boosters. So as you can see, I accidentally leveled up trying to get here. Without the altars of Lilith, you'll have 68 less points in each one of your main stats. So you have strength, intelligence, willpower, dexterity. With the altars of Lilith, if you collect every one, you will have 68 more points in each one of those. And as you can see, each one, okay, sorry about that. But as you can see, each stat has its own little booster that it gives. So strength gives armor increase and resource generation. Intelligence gives critical strike chance, increase the resistance to all elements. Willpower gives healing and overpower. Dexterity for rogues gives skill damage and increased dodge chance. For all the classes, they each have their own main stat, which increases skill damage. Like for the sorcerer, it's intelligence. For barbs, it's strength. For druids, it's willpower. For rogues, it's dex, and I'm not sure what the necro is. So as you can see, I have 13 available points. So when you start off, you actually don't start off with any points until you level to level 2. So as you can see down in the bottom left, I am level 4 now. So I got 3 points from leveling up, and then I got the 10 points from the renown, which is a huge boost. Like let's say that we went over here to like Heartseeker, and let's say we leveled it up to max level. Obviously, we don't have any items or anything right now, but that went from, let me refund it, 7 damage at the lowest to 11, so that's 10% increase in damage just from that. Then you could get these other enchantments for your skills, and then you could go down the line, you know, and so on. But starting off with 10 extra skill points is a huge advantage when you were playing the game. You just speed through everything a lot faster, and it'll help out. So make sure to get your Renown and Altars of Lilith done. And the cool thing is, like I said, the Altars of Lilith help give you Renown. So it's kind of 2-in-1. And if you do the Altars of Lilith, it'll probably take, like, let's say you looked up a video, probably an hour or 2 at max. It's a little bit of a hassle, but you know, after you get done with it, it'll be worth it. So I swapped to my barb to show you guys the importance of resistances and armor. So as you can see, I do not have max poison resistance and shadow resistance, which means that if I get hit by one of those types of damage, I'm going to receive a lot more than I would if it was cold, lightning, or fire. And that's important because a lot of the stuff endgame requires you to have these max resistances so you're not just dying in one hit. Also, there's a max amount of armor of 9,230, which is the cap for armor. So once you get your armor to 9,230, you do not need to increase it anymore. As you can see, I have it at 9,864, so I don't need to increase it anymore. Now these are important because of when you look up these build guides, they don't always tell you to max your resistances or armor. Or if they do, they'll just assume that from you masterworking your gear, you're gonna get increased armor and stuff like that. And they don't really tell you what stats to put on your gear. So like as you can see, there's different stats on my gear or affixes. And this one gives me plus armor resistances, so that's really good leveling up. Later on down the line with the Altars of Lilith, Renown and stuff, and once you get to level 50, you unlock Paragon. When you unlock Paragon, there's a lot of things that will boost. Let's say this one boosts armor and strength for Barbarian. Then you get a little path that goes on. Here I get some resistances. So like that's very good to get net too, with the Renown and Altars of Lilith give you Paragon points and your skill points. So going back, as you can see, I have max armor and almost max resistances. So I could almost take on everything in the end game. The only other thing I need to do is level up to level 100. But also I wanted to show you that in your gems, you can put diamonds, which is what a lot of people recommend, and they give max resistances. As you can see, this diamond that I have socketed into my necklace gives me 6% to all resistances. But then if you needed a more specific resistance, like this one, I needed cold resistance. So as you can see, this is a huge buff to cold resistance. And I put a ruby in my other diamond for fire resistance. You want to make sure to have max resistances and max armor in order to be able to handle the late game content. Let's talk about leveling up a little bit. Right now there's an event that gives you, I believe, plus 25% experience. There is also elixirs, basic elixirs that you'll get as you level up. You see this one, you get at level 40. It gives you 5% increased experience. And let's say you didn't have one of these resistances that you need, it's nice to get that little bit of boost in experience. Like these ones give attack speed, lucky hit, and so on. So the higher level you are, the higher level elixirs you could use, which give you more experience. But then there was also this quest elixir that I got from doing a little side quest. All right, so I'm gonna show you. In Geocool, there is this guy right here, Barium, and he gives you a side quest which allows you to make an extra potion. And to making an extra potion means you get more experience. Now normally potions don't stack, but you can equip both this quest potion and a regular potion, which would give you double the amount of, extra experience gain that you were getting. So normally you would get 8 from one potion, but now you're getting 16 because you have both of them. And they do stack. But if you were to use, let's say, 2 of these advanced elixirs, they do not stack. And same thing, a basic elixir does not stack with an advanced elixir. The only thing that stacks is the quest elixirs, stack with the advanced elixirs and basic elixirs. Now, the other thing you do to get more experience is right here, incense. Incense will give you 5% extra experience, and I believe that is for all the incenses. Those you can't make to level 50, so it's not that great until later on. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the builds. So a lot of the builds that people post will be high level builds that you have to have max gear and max masterworking, which is a new thing that they added. And all of that in order to be able to do the end game content. Well, one of the things that I suggest is to do a leveling build, which is essentially a build that you could clear things fast, do a whole bunch of area of effect damage, and be able to just level up as fast as that you can. If you do one of these later game builds and try to build it from the beginning, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're missing, like uniques and stuff like that. So like something like this unique I need for my gear, but if I am just starting off, I'm not going to have these uniques until later on in the game. Using a leveling build will be almost as good as everything else while being able to clear most of the content. We're just not going to be able to clear the very end game content, but really your whole goal should be just to get the 100 as fast as possible. Another thing I wanted to talk about the builds is people will give you glyph builds and stuff, but they won't tell you what order you should get glyphs in. So obviously you're not going to start with all this stuff unlocked. You're going to start with one branch here unlocked, and you get these things called glyphs, and some glyphs are better than others. So this one is a very good one that I would recommend putting in this first slot here, which is called Exploit. An exploit gives you increased damage to vulnerable enemies. A lot of skills apply vulnerable to enemies, which makes them take 20% more damage. And I want to show you that this is not activated until I have enough points in dexterity in this little red area. My area is a little bit bigger because I have my glyph at level 15. So that's one thing I would look out for, is trying to use glyphs at the beginning that may not necessarily be the build that you're looking at, but it will allow you to boost your character. I'd say exploit is a very important one. Another one that I see most classes use is territorial here, which gives you 10% damage reduction against close enemies, and then you deal increased damage to close targets. So that's a pretty good one as well while you're leveling up. Alright, so that's all the tips and tricks I have for you guys. As you can see, growing content creator here. Just leave a like, give a sub, comment down what you'd like to see next. Maybe I could post a leveling build or two. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.